So what do you do, man?
Sure. So we create artificial intelligence conversations for large organizations, large enterprises, Fortune 1000. We provide automated conversations over the phone, voice, SMS, live chat, much like a chatbot, but much more intellectual, much more robust than what you would typically get with like a Intercom or Zendesk live chat provider.
All right, I'm going to help you out, man.
Please do.
So I wanted to get some value out of this call, and I'm going to help you out. I'm going to teach you one thing that you could throw in the garbage or maybe use for the rest of your life, but I think it's going to really help you.
Sure.
So I often ask people what they do, and they often respond just like you did by talking about what it is that they make. And oftentimes what they'll even do further is they'll do what you did, they'll compare what they are selling to something else. We're just like Netflix, but for sales. Unfortunately, when you do that, it oftentimes causes people to zone out or not respond as positively as they could be, because your solution doesn't matter to me unless it solves a specific problem or desire that I have. So you could sell the most amazing skis in the world that are made out of fiberglass, that have the newest technology, the newest AI technology. But if I'm not having a problem going down the moguls and my skis are fine, I don't care. So the reason this is very important is the way people describe their company is oftentimes the way they sell their company in cold emails, cold calls, and on their website. In fact, I've never been to your website before. Well, let's actually go and look at it. Let's
crap.
go. Hold on. Clone your best agents to automate your customer care conversations. This is a great example of something that is confusing because it doesn't relate to a specific problem that I have. And your website says CEO of Kylie. Again, I don't care that you're the CEO. The only thing that I care about is, can you help me with a problem that I have or a desire that I have? So let me actually give you a couple of examples of what I mean by that. If I have a problem when I take my car to a mechanic and I just want an oil change, but I'm afraid the mechanic's going to tell me that I need a new transmission and I don't know whether to believe them or not, that's a problem, right? And if you solve that problem for me, which is a lie detector test so that I don't get ripped off, that would be interesting to me if I'm going to the mechanic. Infomercials know this really well, right? They always start with the problem because problems get attention. Hey, have you ever been in the kitchen trying to make the perfect French fry with a knife and the fries are soggy, the family's unhappy, and the meal just sucks? They don't even talk about the product or what it is. They're talking about the problem, right? Have you ever been on your computer and your hard drive blew and you lost all your photos and all your pictures? That's a product called Carbonite or a backup system. So we always have to start with the problem first, because without a problem that resonates, that's very crispy, meaning specific, not saving time or money. That's generic and not crispy. So I'm a triathlete. If you were to call me and say, we'll make you go faster on your bike, you're not speaking my language, man. That doesn't sound like the way I talk. But if you were to call me and say, hey, Josh, have you ever been on a 60-mile ride and then right around mile 37, your sit bones start to hurt and you get chafing and you're not able to be in the seat too long and you have to get out of your aero bars and it causes more drag and slows you down? That's called speaking triathlon. The problem people like you typically have is that because you've never been a triathlete or you've never been your customer, that there's a disconnect between what you think the problems are and how your customers actually speak and how they describe their problems specifically and in a crispy fashion. So I want to start this exercise again with you. And instead of you telling me what it is, I want you to start with this. Hey, Josh, have you ever experienced, are you aware of? Let's just stop there and see how it sounds. And it's got to be a very, Josh, are you aware? Have you ever had this happen where you buy a saddle and it's made for every sit bone possible, but your sit bones don't sit well? And right around mile 37, you feel chafing and you feel a little numb and you got to actually get up out of the aero bars and get up into an upright position. It's just not comfortable down there. Yes. Listen, what do you guys do?
Hey, Josh. Yeah. So we help companies. Nope. Not what we do. Refresh. Go ahead, ask it again.
So Jamasen, what do you do?
Sure, Josh. Yeah, you know what? Before I tell you that, I want to ask you a question. I know you do consulting. You work with the companies to help them with sales. Have you ever really worked with a company, given them your best of the best? You've sent them the invoice, but they just didn't pay you 30, 60 days out?
Unfortunately, that has happened to me on numerous occasions.
Yeah. How are you solving for that? What do you do?
Well, it's not pretty. I mean, I set myself reminders. Sometimes, honestly, I forget. I'm not really good with it, and I end up following up and chasing them with emails a lot of times, which doesn't feel good on my soul.
No, not at all. And what if you forget? Do you end up sending that out to a collections agency, or do you just write it off? What do you do?
No, I do. I do. I work with a collection agency to get people that are really delinquent, usually past like 90 days.
And after 90 days, are you losing 30% of revenue, or, what's that deal like?
Okay, pause right here. This is a perfect moment. I typically hear when I talk to other consultants like you that they're losing 30% of their revenue. Is that the case with you?
Mm-hmm.
So why am I doing that? Again, I'm showing that you know the industry, right? So let's just rewind that one part. Hey, Josh, typically I hear that when people work
Yep.
with collection agents. Go ahead.
All right. Hey, Josh, typically I hear when companies like you work with collections agencies, you give up 30% of the revenue just for them collecting the cash. Is that the case with you?
It is. And so I would take what we learned today, apply it to your LinkedIn profile, apply it to your website, and you could also apply it to your cold emails and your cold call scripts. And I think you'll see a higher response rates. And at networking events, anytime anyone asks you a question now, you kind of have a better way to engage, because unless it's irrelevant to me, like if it's a relevant problem or opportunity, I'll be like, oh, that's cool, but I'm not going to care.